Hello everyone, welcome back to Sparc Archery. So I have an interesting topic for you guys today. And today's topic is gonna be how to choose my first bow or your first bow. So again, I would like to remind everyone that this channel is gonna be bilingual. So if you guys want to check out all my other English production, you can go here. Sorry, on this side here. So you can go here. It'll be all the playlist for all my other English videos. Okay, so let's get to it and let's dive in. So this is an important question, especially for people just starting out into the field of archery. So how to choose your first bow? So this is a very important question, especially for beginners. So I have 5 things that I think that are important to know before you buy your own bow. So especially your first bow. As someone with no, let's say, background or experience in archery, so these are the 5 things. So number 1, so you need to know what kind of category do you want to be practicing. So like I said before in a previous video, so I personally myself, I shoot traditional, bare bow, recurve, and a little bit of compound here and there. So those are basically the types of archery that is practiced around the world. So do a little bit of research, see some videos online and see which one is more suited towards your interest. So some of you might be more interested in traditional, some of you want to dive into recurve, or maybe if you're somewhere in between, I would suggest bare bow, which is the up and coming category right now. And then there's always compound. So in choosing your category, so you need to understand that each category has its own price range. So the cheapest would be traditional. You can get a very simple bow for, I don't know, less than 100 ringgit. And then there's bare bow, in which a bare bow usually you can just add some extra accessories and you can go to a recurve bow. Simple as that. And then there's the compound bow, which is the most expensive choice. But nowadays, if you can find a good bow from China, there's some good brands out there, up and coming brands from China, which sells quite cheap bows. I think you can get one set for less than 2,000 ringgit, 1,500 ringgit, depends on where you're from. Okay, the next thing is to understand that where your location is. So this particular thing is more suited towards if people you are interested into going for crossbow. So crossbow for a lot of archery enthusiasts is not really archery. It's like more like a rifle or a gun, because it's mostly point and shoot. But then again, it is called a bow, so it is archery. So you need to know whether it's legal or not in your country. So in my country, Malaysia, it is not legal. So if the police find out you have a crossbow in your house, you can get a summons or a ticket for that, and just try to avoid it. We do have people, that wants to go into archery, into crossbow, but always advise them not here in Malaysia. But if you're somewhere else, like maybe in the United States, they allow crossbow. Maybe they can interest you, but then again, if compound is expensive, crossbow is even more expensive. Okay, the next thing is you need to know who is the user. So that brings me to the second point. So once you've chosen your category, then you need to know. I mean, you should know, but if it's for your kids or your family, so you need to know their age or their body type. So for adults, it's a different type of bow or poundage, which I will dive in a bit later. And for children, it's different. Even for adults, it depends if it's your big guy or small guy. And for kids also as well, kids develop at a different rate for everyone. So if you get a kid that is like bigger, sometimes they come smaller. So you need to know for whom this bow is for, or is it to be shared with the whole family. So there are bows that are suitable for the whole family, but you need to know before you buy it. So next, you need to set your budget. So your budget is very important because it determines what kind of level of bow you're getting into, and it depends. This budget also depends on how serious you are in doing archery. So if you're just trying out, you don't know if your family or you or your kids are going to be serious, you want to opt for a more cheaper option because archery can get very expensive very quickly. So plan your budget around it. So I would guess if a simple traditional set, it can cost you, for in Malaysia you can get for around less than 500 ringgit for one whole set, or would be less than $100 in dollars. So the price point for each category is different. So if you just want to try out, have fun, I would suggest to go for traditional archery. Usually a straight bow or a flat bow. They make those in fiberglass now, so it can come very cheap. I know a brand that has a 90 ringgit bow, which is what, $14-16 per bow. And then you can get some cheap arrows. So what do you need to consider in your budget? So there's a few stuff. You can't just buy your bow, then what are you gonna shoot? And then you can't just buy a bow and arrow, and then you're gonna ask what are you going to shoot at. So you need to take a few things into consideration. Number one, you need to know what kind of bow you want, and then you need to know what kind of arrows you want. Next, you should know what's the cost for at least some basic protective equipment. So like finger tabs, arm guards, especially for girls or someone with a bigger chest, you need a chest guard. Not really necessary, but depends on the person. But if you get one, it's better to have one and not need it, and not have one but you need it. And then the last part is the target part. So what we call in archery, we call it target butt, or the target. The piece of usually foam that you shoot at. It can be hay as well. So if you're in a place that has like hay bales around, it's easier for you guys. You just shoot at your hay bales. But for the rest of us, I would suggest to get a decently priced foam, a bit higher density, or a PE foam or EVA foam. Which one is more suitable for your price range? So all in all, I would guess you might have to spend around 600-700 ringgit for your first set, and this set would be suitable for everyone. But if you're a bit more serious and for yourself, and you want to like do archery as your main hobby, or something that you want to do often, you can opt for a bit more intermediate bows and things like that. If you're doing barebow or recurve or even compound, and you think that you're going to be a bit serious, I would suggest you to spend a little bit more money on the riser. The riser means that the thing that you hold. I try to put a picture here. So the thing that you hold, so that's the riser. So this is where I would suggest you spend the most money on in the beginning. The rest of the part, the limbs and the string and whatnot, you can always upgrade for later. But if you already get a good riser, then you won't have to spend as much. The next point, so the most important point, is poundage. So poundage for beginners, for everyone who's starting out, I would suggest to go as low as you can go. Not as low enough for you to still have fun, but not too high so you're gonna struggle starting out. Why? Because in your first bow is where you learn the fundamentals, the basics. So if you're struggling with the bow, if you're struggling with the poundage, it's too heavy for you, then you're not gonna have fun, you're not gonna learn a lot, you're gonna be struggling and fighting the bow. So we don't want that. We want you to be able to pull comfortably and relax and try to aim and whatnot, and learn the art, learn the technique. And then later on, when you're already confident, then you can always upgrade yourself to a more heavier poundage bow. So this is a mistake that I see a lot of people here, especially in Malaysia, do, is they didn't ask around. They just see what is available online. They just bought whatever is available online. So it ended up beginner buying a new bow which is like 40-45 pounds, and has no idea how to shoot and is struggling like hell to pull. So it's not a good experience, it's a waste of money. So always go for a low poundage first. Try to enjoy the sport first. When you know what to do, when you're a bit more proficient, then you can always upgrade later on. But for beginners, go for the lowest that you can go. So my suggestion is, for adults, go for something like 20, 25 to maximum about 30 pounds for guys. If it's girls, stick to 25. It's easier for you to learn, it's easy for you to pull. So 25 pounds is about like 12 kilos, 50 kilos. It sounds a lot, but it's actually manageable. But for kids, I would suggest to go lower. So somewhere in the range about 10 to 20 pounds. So it says 10 to 20 pounds, but 20 pounds, but actually when they pull on their finger, it's going to be a bit more less. So it's a good way for them to start, for them to learn how to shoot and how, you know, to be in part of the archery sports. And the last part, which is not so important but it can help, is the size of the bow. So size of the bow is very it depends, but again, like I said, the most basic one is traditional bow, a flat bow, something like that, or a mini long bow. So that one I don't really mind. What you can get whatever you want. Just try not to get too short, and you will have difficulty pulling. Something around the 48 to 50 inch size bow, which is good for everyone. You can go a bit longer, about 60 if you're a bit taller. And for adults, if you're really set into doing bevel or recurve, go for something around 68, 66 or 70. If you're really tall, or 6 footer and above, go for a 70 inch bow, 72 inch bow. But then again, I would like to remind, get lower poundage limbs. So even though your bow is going to be 72 inch, you're very tall and very long, so get something around 25, 26 pounds limbs. It'll help you in the beginning to build up your fundamentals. And for kids, so if your kid is really into, like, say, recurve, want to go to the Olympics, it's like their dream, want to be an archer at the Olympics. So if you don't want to go for a recurve bow, so it depends on the size of the kids. I would say start them out with a small one. It's the 48 inch bow, or if you think that they're a bit stronger, a bit taller, a bit stronger, you can go for a 60 inch bow or a 54 or 56 inch bow. And if they're already like teenagers and things like that, you can go for an adult size bow, a 68 inch bow, which will be fine for them. But in the most part, so that is what you need to know to get your first bow. It's a bit vague, I know, but if you need to know anything else, you can always leave a comment in the comment section and let me know what you think about this video and what things that you think that you want to know some more. Feel free to comment, and as always, please subscribe to my channel and always hit that like button. Alright, if you guys enjoy my content, you guys can go to all my other English playlists again here, and of course for our Malay, Indonesian, Bruneian, Singaporean viewers that nak tengok dalam bahasa Melayu, we're gonna have our Malay playlist over here. So alright, thank you guys, hope to see you again. Bye bye.